Journaling completely changed my life. I really can't underestimate the importance of what journaling has done for me and my confidence, and later in this video I'll share the benefits of it. But journaling is definitely something that I would recommend for anybody to at least try, just knowing the positive impacts that it's had on my life. And I started reading the book The Self-Love Experiment by Shannon Kaiser, and this really started the idea in my mind of doing my own self-love experiment, and I did this by keeping a journal. And before this, I had never really written a journal ever in my life. I thought it was only something girls did, but no, I was wrong. But I was really just desperate to find self-love. It was something I was really lacking. I was going through a bunch of mental health issues, and I really just wanted to get to know myself better and really understand my emotions. And starting this journal was the best decision that I ever made, as it really allowed me the freedom to get to know myself and express myself on a deeper level and do something that I had never really done before to really push my comfort zone and create new boundaries in my life. And I'm just going to start by sharing some of the benefits that journaling has had on my life, speaking from my experience. One benefit journaling has had on my life is I've become far more aware of my emotions, how I've been feeling on a daily basis. And I used to be very out of touch with my emotions. I thought that guys weren't supposed to be feeling emotions, that we were supposed to be suppressing how we were feeling and not really sharing them with others because that would be burdening others. But I realized this was completely wrong. This was just all in my mind, all about how I've kind of been programmed by society. And journaling really gave me an opportunity to dive deep into my depths, dive deep into my, I would call them emotional oceans, because they're far deeper than you could ever imagine. They're going to keep going, and the more you explore them, the more you're going to find out how much there really is to you. And all of this happened when I realized that living an emotionless life, living with no passion, not really feeling your emotions, is not fulfilling at all. It's not the proper way to live. And this is part of the reason I was going through a lot of mental health issues, because I was very out of touch with my emotions, which I realize is basically like a guidance system of telling you what is right and what is wrong in your life. And at the beginning, I would just start by journaling, pretty much asking myself, how am I feeling right now? And at the beginning, all the answers were pretty negative because I was feeling pretty negative emotions. It was a reflection of the mental and emotional state that I was living in at the time. And I take full responsibility for that. But slowly through this process, I began to basically overcome and make peace and give these negative emotions love and compassion. And this really began to turn my life and my mind and my emotional state around to becoming way more positive, which has impacted my life so greatly. One of the main reasons I can even have the confidence to share videos like this. But dealing with negative emotions such as shame, fear, and anger, they can be hard at first. I know firsthand that overcoming these emotions are not easy. But the more I really began to journal and become aware of these emotions and how they were affecting my life, I began to see that they all really had the same root cause. And this root cause was just me being unsatisfied with the world, me being unsatisfied with my inner world, and me being unsatisfied with the outer world. And I realized that the way to change this satisfaction and the way to change my emotional state was to change my inner world. Whatever's going on outside me, it's the way that I perceive it that's affecting how I'm feeling inside, and that in turn creates this whole cycle. So the further I got into this process, I started asking deeper questions, going beyond just how I'm feeling right now. I started asking myself, who am I? Really questioning who I am, what it means to be I, self, what do I love to do? And if time or money were no concern, what would I be doing right now? And is it what I'm doing right now? So these questions really helped me figure out what was really important in my life and how I could build a life that I really wanted to do by finding activities that I truly love to do and be passionate about, because that in the end, that's what we're all trying to find, something that we can be truly passionate about and put like our heart and soul into. And through journaling and this self-love experiment I was talking about, writing has really become my passion, and it's something that I do every single day now, and it is something that fulfills me and is something that I feel like I can use to help other people. Another benefit that journaling had on my life is that I became a better communicator, both writing and speaking wise. And journaling every day has absolutely made me a better communicator, which is great because I used to be a terrible communicator. I used to be so shy, so fearful of expressing myself, and just lack so much confidence. And it makes sense that writing a lot will make you a better writer over time. That's putting in the practice, putting in the effort, consistency, and having the patience. But I was definitely surprised that I became more confident when speaking to other people just by writing a lot. And there might be a scientific reason for this. I don't know. I haven't done the research, but my guess is why it's worked for me is that it's really helped me better at kind of organizing my thoughts and expressing them to others, which is what you do when you're writing on a piece of paper. And organizing my thoughts and expressing them were basically my two biggest weaknesses. I used to be terrible at these things, and attacking them head on was really the catalyst for me improving my communication skills. And as I said before, I used to really have a fear of expressing myself as I really worried too much about what other people thought of me. And through the self love experiment, I realized that expressing myself authentically and being my true authentic self is really the best way for me to feel at peace and love myself, but also to share these states with the world in something that I can do best. And I realized that I won't really be of value to other people as if everything I'm doing, if everything that I'm expressing, my writing, my videos, is fear-based. And if it's love-based, people are going to be able to see that. People are going to be able to resonate with the message. And I want those type of people to be resonating with my message, not people that are very fear-based. And understand that this didn't really happen instantaneously. I wrote pretty much every day, journaled pretty much every day for about 9 months, and sometimes just one page a day, but oftentimes two, three, four. I mean, I really just love writing, so I wrote a lot. You don't have to write that much if it's not something you're truly passionate about, but I didn't start I didn't start the journal with the goal of becoming a better communicator. So it really took time for me to really see the results come into action. It took about 3 months for me to actually realize that I became a better communicator about this, but that's fine with me because I did it to really get to know myself better, to really get to become aware of my emotions. And becoming a better communicator was just basically like a side benefit of taking this action and believing in myself and putting in the work and effort. And I really started this journal with the goal of knowing myself better and finding what I truly love. So I really believe that if you love writing, if you write enough and you push yourself outside of your comfort zone, well, you're going to have a lot of fun in the journaling process, and it doesn't really feel like work. And the more you do it, the more in love you fall with the process. You realize that it doesn't even matter what the outcome is, because the actual writing of it and the actual expressing yourself is the true, basically, prize or the present in the end. And I would say the third benefit for me was that I realized the creativity that was inside of me that I never really knew was there. And I never really used to think about myself as a creative person. I used to think about myself as a really logical math science type person. And I realized through this whole self-discovery process that that was just one tiny part of me, very small part of me, but I had all these limiting beliefs in my mind telling me that I couldn't express myself. And through journaling, I really found this, I would say, well of infinite creativity that resides inside me, and I never really knew it was there. And I believe, this is just my belief, you might not believe this, but I believe that everybody has this well of creativity inside of them, infinite creativity that will never run out, but it's up for you to search and find it. You might think that some people were born naturally more creative than other people. That may not be true, but that shouldn't stop you from going to find your passion. I didn't write a poem until I was 19 years old, and now I have a poetry book published. And it wasn't because I was born with some innate skill at poetry. It was because I found out that it was something that I really loved to do, and I had a passion for it, and I had a message that I wanted to share, and it was something that I worked after day after day after day, and that passion and that love for it was what kept me going. And through writing every day, I really realized this passion. I realized this love for poetry that I had, and I realized that it was something that I could share with the world. So this was the cause of me to write and self-publish my first poetry book, You Know Who You Are, which really loosely chronicles my journey from depression, overcoming depression to find self-love, and also teaching myself through this journey emotional intelligence, which is something that I desperately needed to learn, and I understand that it's something a lot of people in the world desperately need to learn because we're not really taught emotional intelligence in school. I guess they think we'll just figure it out on our own, which is kind of weird because the majority of the adult world absolutely lacks this emotional intelligence, but that's also another rant. But creativity and inspiration are really all around you and inside you, but we try to kind of limit ourselves by saying we can't do something before we've even tried it, before we've even tried it for a day, before we tried to write a book for a month, 2 months, 3 months, a year. I mean, you got to push yourself outside your comfort zone. You're not going to be creative by staying in the same kind of comfortable bubble that you're always in. And I started drawing, I started pushing myself outside my comfort zone even more through making art by drawing and painting. And I'm not a good drawer or painter at all, because I would say it's because, not because I don't have a natural ability for it, I might not, but I haven't put the same time, effort, consistency, and patience into drawing and painting. And I also don't have the same passion for them as I do for writing and making poetry. But I'm so proud of what I've done drawing and painting, as I drew and painted the cover of my first book, which then became the inspiration for the cover. And lastly, through this journaling process, I really started to learn how to make music. And I already had the poetry and lyrics for the songs, but I never really thought I had the ability to make music. I really challenged myself to learn how to play an instrument, the piano, and make music with it. And I'm not musically gifted at all. If you listen to any of my songs, which I'll plug at the end, you can see that I'm not the best singer, and most of them are spoken word poems, so you don't really have to listen to me sing that much. But I had never played an instrument in my life, and I stepped outside of my comfort zone and realized that over a year of me just practicing, of me learning a little bit of music theory, I could make music that sounded half decent. And it'll get better as I make it more and more often, which I have, because I really enjoy the process of just making music and sharing it. If you want to go listen to some of my music and spoken word poems, they're available on Apple Music, Spotify, the rest of the streaming platforms under the name Ari Leonard. I have about 40 songs or poems out there at the moment. About 9 or 10 of them are piano instrumentals. I think they sound really good, but they're also just, I mean, I made them for me, but also to kind of share the love and share the creative experience that I've been going through these past year and a half. So if it's something that you resonate with, I would definitely check it out. And I think it could be inspiring for other people to know that you really don't have to have any musical background or talent or experience, because these are all things that I didn't have. And yeah, I did it. I made these pieces of art that I'm proud of, and I put them out there, and we'll see what happens. Journaling completely changed my life. I'm extremely grateful for Shannon Kaiser for writing the Self-Love Experiment book. I don't even know how I came across the book, but if I hadn't come across that book and started my own self-love experiment, started my own journey through journaling, I really don't know where I'd be today. It's had such an enormous positive impact on my life that I would recommend it to anybody. So I encourage you to start a journal if any of this resonates with you, even if it's just writing 1 page a day, even if it's writing 5 sentences a day. As long as you're being consistent, as long as it's something that you actually like to do, you really never know where this journey is going to take you. And I'm going to leave it at that. Remember, be kind to yourself. You know who you are. My name is Ari. Thank you for watching this video. Please give me the thumbs up. Please give me the like if you enjoyed this video. And subscribe to this channel if you haven't subscribed yet. I'm going to be making more videos 3 times a week. That's it for today. Peace. Have a great day.